Guys, what's going on? I want to talk quickly about this. This is the InventorFPV.com Night R, or sometimes known as the Sparquad R. It's a 220mm frame. Looks rather big, but it's not really. It's 139 or 140 grams thereabouts, because the fact that it's a molded carbon fibre, each frame varies. So it's in around the 140 gram mark. It has 10 degrees of motor tilt. Once the battery is sitting in here, it's like that, about 10 degree motor tilt. It has one cool feature I like about it is the camera cage. Sorry, dirty from me flying early on. It's the camera cage. It's a whole separate piece. I'll show you later on in photos. What I like about it as well is the arms. They have a chamfered edge. They're just a nice feel to it. It's different than most cars I ever had anyway. Has the etched logo of the Sparquad. That's their logo. It comes in two pieces. Top frame, bottom frame, and then just the two arms. So basically 4 pieces altogether. The LED holder back here and the battery protector, or the landing skid as it's referred to, is POM molded. And what that basically means is injection molded. It's kind of molding you see in handles of a knife or the interior of a car. It's a nice little feature. The carbon molded frame itself. The advantage offered about molded carbon fibre is the ability to kind of reuse the mould as many times as you want to replicate the frame numerous times. And there's not many frames that I know of personally that uses this type of carbon fibre mould for their frames, in quadcopters anyway, because of course they use it elsewhere. But how it really works is the type of female and male mould that be CNC laid or CNC'd out, that have the shape of this. So basically what they do is put down the layers of carbon fibre, the resin, carbon fibre, resin over and over until they get to a certain thickness. Then they compress it together and let it set. It's a nice little feature. You can see the detail in the carbon fibre. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice. The curve around the front, the bottom plate's curved, then the two arms are just normal, as if like any other quadcopter really. I want to talk about a few of the parts I'm using in this build. First of all, let's talk about the flight controller and the PDB. The PDB I'm using is the Relay C, I think it's pronounced. Hub OSD. There's two types of these boards basically, the Eco X and Eco H. The only difference is that the Eco X has a kind of an XT60. I have one here, has an XT60 part come out the side. And what I'm using in this doesn't basically. You basically have to mount your XT60 and your wire straight to your board. Basically it has the ST-OSD firmware on it, which I've upgraded to the latest 3.2 because supposedly it fixes a lot of things of the on-screen display disappearing and such and such. It has two 5-volt outputs, two 12-volt outputs, and on-screen display shows the typical kind of stuff: battery voltage, time, the milliamp hour consumption, what's your most amps drawn through the flight, that kind of thing. Then above it we have the brand new CC3D F4 Revo, or some like to call it the Flip 32 F4. Right there. It's an F4 based chip basically, which is the latest and greatest, and you can run up to 8 kHz loop time. I'm running Betaflight 3.1 beta build. If you want to know which specific beta I'm using and works well, is 427. You have to go onto their GitHub page to download it. It's not too hard. The reason I'm running the beta build is because that's the only 3.1 is the only one that allows you to run D-Shot. And D-Shot is the new ESC protocol out of Arduino guys and Boris B himself. And so next I want to talk about the ESCs, which are these. The Pocket Rocket 30 amps. by this company here, Radio C. Fabiano was kind enough to send me over a few, which I admit they're pretty awesome. They're pretty small. They're one of the cheapest ESCs, 30 amp ESCs that's capable of running D-Shot that I found. I think they're about €6 or €7 or pounds, or basically enabled to run D-Shot. Most ESCs that weren't specifically designed for D-Shot had to be modified. And what you have to do basically is take off a little resistor. It's only a matter of getting something sharp and getting underneath and popping it off, because that doesn't, it'll fail to flash otherwise. The advantages of D-Shot over multi-shot or one-shot 125 or one-shot 42 basically is a new digital protocol instead of using analog, which all the others use. There's no need to calibrate ESCs or set the minimum or max throttle anymore. It does it automatically, so no ESC calibration, which is a big plus for me. Very impressed on how these are working so far, considering they're only €6 or €7, and they're fairly small. They're about the same size of any other ESC really out there nowadays. They're all kind of getting smaller and smaller, which is a good thing to save weight, space, and with this build, as you can see, it's fairly tight for space. I could have opted in to put the ESCs on the arms, but I like making kind of clean looking builds, and this is probably one of my cleanest. Not much room in there for the flight controller and PDB, so if you had a 4-in-1 ESC system, I'm not too sure if this will work for you. Now the motors are the LD Power FR 2305 2600 kV motors, or I think they're referred to as the Sword series. That's a clever name considering what they have built into them. I'll show you now. Is that they have this little cooling fins at the top, which is kind of neat. So basically it sucks in the air here at the bottom while it's spinning, and then this will let the hot air out. These are a nice little motor. LD Power sent me over a few of these to be a part of this review, so I'd like to thank them for that. The weight of them, they're about 20, actually here, let me get the weighing scales. 28 under that. 28. Nice size. On par basically with all the other most motors that are out there. These are very similar to the T-Motor F42. Same kind of specs there. They're 23 millimeter stator. That's the width of the stator, and then 5 mil height of the stator. And what I like is the PCB that I see a few companies with. Basically, you solder the wires out on here, and you can cut them to length instead of getting the wires that come with it, and you have to cut them, and you basically do it all yourself, which is what I like. Has a hollow shaft, comes in clockwise and anti-clockwise. They don't have the little Allen screw in the bottom of it like the new red bottoms, but the C-clip that they use at the bottom, it's like one of the thickest C-clips I ever seen in any of the motors I ever ran. So maybe that's a good day. Maybe it mightn't pop off mid-flight like I had with the RS2205 red bottoms before. And one little neat feature that I like about these is the little, you might have noticed, is the little hex shaped on top of it, or just below the shaft here. Might be able to make that out. And what that basically is this, it's for this tool that they give with for tightening props or taking them on and off or loosening them, that kind of stuff. So basically I just go in here and grab it while you put the prop on and screw it on. Let's look inside the box. What else did it give with it? They give the little tool you just seen, and well, there's the tool again. Then screws and nuts and pieces of wire cut the length, maybe about 30 mil, 35 mil long. I didn't have to use these, I used my own because they weren't long enough for the fact that I mounted the ESCs into the body. With these are the props I was using for my flight video that I'll post later on. Is I was using the Racecraft 5051s, and with them I think I was getting I think they're averaging about 1.45 grams of thrust per motor, which is extremely powerful. And obviously a battery killer is only getting about, I don't know, less than 2.5 minutes, so I opted to put back to these gem fans for now. Next I want to talk about the VTX and the antenna that DroneShack.co.uk sent over to me. Steve over there is a very nice guy, and he sent, no questions asked, he just sent them out to me one day, I hadn't the next. It's very hard to see, but I'll post pictures in along with the video. This is the TBS Unify Pro HV, which stands for high voltage race edition. This is only about 4 grams. This is only about 4 grams include with the pigtail. So it's one of the lightest VTXs that I know of anyway. And it has a few little features that not many others have. And that's pit mode. When you're powering up your VTX, you press down this little button, and it will not transmit power until you basically press the button for 8 seconds again, which is neat because as often at meetups with a few people that I fly with and turn it on, wanting to turn on my quad, but obviously you couldn't without fiddling around and disconnecting the VTX, because just in case you interrupted their flying and their channel, they'd see your picture. So pit mode, very, very neat little feature in this. This has outputs of 25 milliwatt, 200, 500, and 800, which is obviously I wouldn't use unless I'm flying alone, because you just mess up everyone else's video. Not much to say about the antenna I'm using. It's just a standard TBS Triumph antenna that Stephen over DroneShack sent over as well. They're pretty common nowadays. They're still one of the best antennas I ever use anyway. In terms of just breakup, really, I rarely get breakup. They're proven. Nearly everyone I know is using these, and yeah. Next I'll talk about the camera. Runcam Eagle. This is a spare one I'm after getting. I didn't even open it, so I'll open it. Of course I got the fluorescent orange. Yeah. The only thing I don't like about this Eagle is the new connection they're using for the on-screen display. You see it there. This big long connection right here, instead of the old ones you'd see on the Swift, which is handy. It's only about 3 or 4 pins wide, so I don't know why they use this, but obviously Runcam know their stuff and they have a reason behind it. Has a magnesium shell, which is nice because the amount of shells I broke along to the Swift, because they're just plastic. And weighing this, it's a very same weight as the Runcam Swift, which is about 17 grams. This is the 16:9 screen ratio version, and the reason I got this one is because I run the Fat Shark Dominators V3s, which are 16.9. So this was my very first 16.9 camera I used, and I was pleasantly surprised how much screen I was losing using the 4:3 ratio all the other time, like on the Swift and the HS 1177. So yeah, this is a CMOS sensor, which a lot of people, when they were getting into the hobby, they were told to avoid because it was just the cheap way to get into FPV. The first CMOS sensor I used since I started flying over 2 years ago, and has no jello. What I mean by jello is the vibration you'd see in the picture when you're flying FPV, which CMOS cameras are well known for. The picture quality in this is far superior to the HS 1177 out of Runcam Swift, which numerous guys reviewing have said is the best saturation, the colour, the contrast, everything basically. So there we go. You can see the one you're running right now in there, in the little camera cage. Got a bit battered now, but it's still working perfectly. So yeah, that's basically it. That was the Night R. I put a link in the description where you can get all these, and thanks to the people who sent them out to me, etc., etc. And I'll post a few pictures of the build of this, and I'll link to my written review, which is much longer and more detailed than this video. This is just a quick insight into the Inventor FP Night R, the LD Power 2305 2600 kV sword motors, the Pocket Rockets ESCs by Radio C, Redac Hub OSD, the TBS Unify and antennas, the CC3D F4, and the Runcam Eagle. Make sure you check out my written review, that'll be in the description below.